business proposal that is going to have some success.
It's not entirely fake. It could prove beneficial at some point, but Tessian has enough sway to maybe make it real if he needed to in a bind, if it actually comes to it, I think.
Right. All of it does a great job of skirting around the need to make deception checks because none of it's technically not true.
Although I would have made them. I could have. I'm pretty good at them.
Everything you said pretty much still fit, so I was like, no, not really necessary right now. All right. So, what are you guys doing?
I mean,
all of you.
Well, we should head back.
I'm running with Karash, and I'm kind of bringing him up to speed of what I saw, which was basically they went up, they came back down. Apparently, it went okay, and let's touch base when we get back.
Okay, but not running because it's like stone down here, and I don't want to die.
I'm jogging.
Yes, the old yog.
The old yog.
And the other three?
Gosh, I mean, they pretty much boot us out, and I mean, Tessian probably actually, I don't know, like, gives a little to Gary, just so, you know, because we're friends now, and I guess we just head into the town, probably back towards the inn.
Yeah.
Or alehouse, whatever.
I don't know. I'm gonna kind of lean aside to Tessian. I mean, with Lena still there as well. I'm surprised. He and everyone else seems surprised. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. But that Gary, I think if we could get him on his own, we could figure some stuff out.
And Tessian's like, I agree. Although I still don't know if I trust how much he liked the deal. I am hoping that his own greed will tip him towards our side and trusting us.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but his hand was on the table. I didn't like that at all. I don't know what he was doing, if anything, but he seemed on edge. It doesn't seem uncommon for him, but I don't know. That was not what I was expecting.
And Tessian nods. He's like, yes, and with the hood and everything like that, I suspect he keeps himself rather guarded. I suspect that room may have traps or other things. I doubt that it's just the guards that we would have to keep an eye out for if we were to assault him directly.
I agree.
But Tessian will look to Lena. He'd be like, did you notice anything, Lena? Your eyes are far sharper than ours.
Unfortunately, no. I didn't notice anything more than you did. It did seem off in some ways, but nothing too out of the ordinary.
Gosh. This is sort of a question Tessian would ask of you guys, even though it's sort of for Chris. Did we notice anything as we were walking through? Any, like, I don't know. I guess Tessian would be like, did you guys notice any entrances or other ways that we could try to get into the place should it come to it? And I guess that's more for Chris, but...
Well, having had a decent chance to get a look at both the exterior and the interior of the building, there are only a handful of windows on the first floor. There's only really a handful of windows on all the floors. It seems like for the most part, it was designed to be less about form and more about function. So it might be possible to get in through some of the exterior ways. You saw no other doors other than the main double door entrance. And you didn't necessarily see all the interior, but you got a pretty good sense of the breadth of it just from the kind of snaking tour that you were provided as you went from one floor to the next to get to the top. But it seems like the office only has the one way in, and it's up on the fourth floor, and it's going to be difficult, but not necessarily impossible, to find alternative means.
Like, we didn't see, like, a skylight or anything like that?
No.
Just, okay.
No, roof appeared to be solid.
At
least in the areas you were taken through.
Right.
Did you see Stuart or Karash? I did not. I wasn't really paying too much attention in that courtyard, but I didn't see anybody.
Tessian's like, honestly, I'm glad I didn't hear or see anything of that.
That's fair.
He's like, if they were there, they did a good job of staying hidden, which is exactly what they needed to do. Perhaps they'll have actually seen or learned of another way in. Gosh, gosh, assuming nothing bad happened to them in the sewers, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
so-
I guess we should head back to the alehouse and wait for them to make sure nothing bad happened.
yeah, I think we should.
So, Karash and Stuart, go ahead and make me another survival check, please. Come on, Karash, you can roll a
They
number.
just become lost in there, and we're gonna have to go in
No.
and save you.
You mean in Stuart's eyes?
Yes. Oh.
Wow.
19.
Oh.
14!
Hey.
Yay!
The two of you are taking a little bit more of a brisk pace now on your way back, knowing that the journey through the sewers takes an additional time compared to the journey out on the surface, and also eager to regroup with everybody and exchange information. Other than a smattering of these smaller rats and snakes that are no real trouble for you to kind of brush aside and keep moving, you're able to make your way back to the south without too much incident. And after about 25, 30 minutes, you find yourself back at the entrance with the staircase that leads back up to the surface.
Before we go up, I'm going to mark my territory somewhere near the base of the stairs to inform all the critters nearby my house.
Okay.
Did they go past where they fought the things the first time?
I suppose that's up to them.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Likely,
Well,
yes.
assuming we did, I wanted to snag up whatever I could in the way of fangs from either the spiders or the snakes.
I was gonna ask if the bodies were still there, or if they'd been carted off by other things.
Oh, creepy.
Let's see. So as I'm remembering, you do not find any spider fangs. One of them you essentially obliterated with holy damage. You are able to find the head of one of the snake, which does have the fangs inside of it if you want to try to extract them.
Can I just take the whole head with me, or is it too heavy?
Do I know how much a giant poisonous snake weighs? I don't know if it's listed. I'll look real quick.
I think you mean basilisk.
I'm using my high-pitched voice. I don't think it has a weight. It's pretty big, though. For the head, and you're pretty strong, I'll say no. You can take the whole head if you want.
Okay, I'm going to make sure I secure the mouth closed so I don't get stabbed. But I'm going to go take care of it, maybe make a cool mask out of it later or
Is
something.
it really important right now, Karash? We have to get back.
I'm not
Let's
even going
go.
to answer to that. I'm just going to continue walking after I grab it out or cut it off and walk away with it.
You do notice
Oh.
that other than a few pieces of snake and a bit of the first spider that died, all the rats that weren't already smeared across the ground are gone.
Ew.
No rat bodies.
Normal. Totally normal.
So, you gather that up on your way, then mark your territory, then emerge back onto the streets of Falstock. A little roughed up from the sewers, but none too worse for wear. The group of the three of you, Tessie and Lena, get back to the alehouse first, but you haven't had time to catch your breath for long before Student Karash also enter.
Tell us everything. I saw
I'm
you
gonna
walk
go.
in. I saw you.
Look what I found!
Okay. I saw you walk in and then walk out.
Tessie's actually impressed that you have this giant head. He's just like, did you kill that yourself, Karash?
I had help.
And Tessie kind of looks at it, he's like, it's quite large. How long was it?
Okay. You got it. If it's going to be Karash, he's just going to reach his hands out and say, longer than this. And, like an idiot.
Oh, and Tessie's like, well, I'm glad we didn't go down there.
Well, it's fine now. We've secured a route for our return trip. But what did you find out?
Where are we talking about this, by the
I
way?
suggest
Are
that
we
we
in
our
should
rooms?
not
I
talk
assume
in
we're
the
in our
open.
rooms.
We should discuss it in either in our rooms upstairs or like in the back
I
room.
thought we were in like the secret.
Oh, did we go back to the
like,
secret
the
room?
secret
If
room.
you'd like to.
It just sounded like we walked in. You're like, what happened? It's like,
Yeah, it sounds like you're just trying to tell everybody in this whole town what we're doing. Is what
Oh
it
no,
sounds
I
like.
assumed we were in the secret room. So if we're not there, I would go there.
They were not, but you can easily make your way back there.
Okay.
Mina kind of gives you a knowing nod. She's there now that you're back. Seemingly bright-eyed and at the start of her shift. And as you all come back in, she gives you a nod and then kind of motions to the room around the corner.
Did
Okay,
you secure a
so-
route? How many guards are up there? What does Worthware like?
Tessian's like, well, there are quite a few guards. We didn't tour the entire mansion, so we don't know exactly how many. But any visitors are accompanied by 4 at all times, it looks like. We didn't see any extra ones in the room with him, but we suspect that there's more to him than it appears. He seemed quite guarded. He had a hood up, seemed to be a little bit on edge, although he was open to the deal, it sounded like. He was going to get back to us sometime tomorrow here at the ale house. So more than likely some of the guards will be coming here tomorrow. Other than that, he kind of looks to the ladies to see if they have anything to add.
No, not really. Tessian's got it.
Mm-hmm.
What was Whitwer like?
Guarded.
Yeah, he had kind of a distanced air about him. And I was just talking to Tessian about this. He had his hand on the table, and he seemed just on edge, like he was ready to do something. I don't know what, but I don't trust him further than I could throw him.
Well, I didn't see any other routes into the mansion. And there's a lot of guards. And he may have traps around him. I'm wondering if our best bet is to, not to infiltrate the house, but to get Whitwer out of the house.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, Tessian nods. He's like, I don't think that's going to happen. I agree with Grayo.
Ooh!
Well, it can happen
burn
if it
down the
has to
house.
happen. What do you say?
I said burn down the house.
And I'm literally along the same lines, and I'm thinking, oh, he'll get out if he has to get out.
Wait, so you found a route to the mansion through the sewers?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
secured. We fought a basilisk and a few spiders.
Okay.
And Tessian's a little surprised. You fought a basilisk?
Yes,
I'm gonna ask what
yes,
a
basilisk.
basilisk is.
It's right there. Look at the head. It's a basilisk.
And Tessian's like, that's a snake. What are you talking about?
Okay, tomato, basilisk, whatever. Let's go.
At this point, you hear a shave and a haircut knock on the door.
Do we yell 2 bits? Is that how this works?
And then a moment passes and it opens and it's Mina.
Okay.
And she
Oh, I'm gonna show Mina.
makes sure to close it behind her. So she kind of turns around. She goes to close the door and make sure it's firmly and securely closed. And she turns
Well,
back
her
around
is
and she
turned,
goes.
I'm gonna pull the head out.
She turns back around. And she goes, ah!
We killed it.
I can see that. Well, better
Do
than
you
it's
have a
dead.
knife I can borrow?
Karash is so easily amused.
It's kind of awesome.
She kind of
Yeah?
she's like leaned back against the door out of surprise, but then eventually she kind of resumes standing upright because she's like, okay, this is dead, this is fine, this is normal. So, I see you're back unharmed. Were you able to find out anything useful?
Tessian he's like, we were able to verify much of what you said. He's guarded up there alone other than his guards. There aren't many ways into the mansion. He seemed open to the deal, but his final reply, couldn't tell you.
Well, I reached out to some people that I knew around here. I would say 2, maybe 3. One was on the fence, might be interested in trying to help, but I don't think that's enough numbers to try a front approach.
We have a way to get into the back way, but that only solves getting through the wall. We still have all the guards to deal with.
Right. The sewers make for a decent approach undetected, but you still have to go through the manor. I don't know if that's enough manpower to do it.
Can't we just burn the house down?
You know, for once, I have to agree with Karash. It seems like fighting Thorogood on his own turf is not a good idea. Maybe we can bring him into our turf.
Tessian is hesitant. I think it's probably visible. He's like, listen, as much as I don't like what's going on here, if we burn down the house, there's a number of potential dangers we need to be aware of. The first of which is, one of the reasons we went there was to figure out who allowed him to be in the position he's in. If there's any kind of paper trail involved, burning down the house puts that at a severe risk. What's
But the
more,
Cobra survived.
Tessian's like, but what's more, we don't know the full extent of the house. He could have safe rooms, another exit into the sewers, even from the house itself. who knows if that will even draw him out, or if we'll just be burning what money he's taken from the town and invested in the property. We're not doing anything but just damaging everything that he's misused.
But he'll be gone if the house is burned.
Tesson's like, not if he makes it out alive and we can't catch him.
But then he won't be here.
But he'll still be in power.
There's a lot that could happen with burning the house down, but we know what will happen with us doing nothing. And this bureaucracy isn't getting us anywhere. We scouted a little bit, sure, but how does that bring us closer to bringing him out of power?
And Tession's like, well, now we know what we can't do. If you... Listen, Stuart, I'm down for doing everything I can to help stop this, but we can't just go from, oh, we looked around, let's burn the entire place down. You do realize that there are more ways to solve this than just that.
Well, let's talk about it. What's another way? We can try infiltration, but there's a lot of guards.
And Tessin's like, well, we can always try to scare him out without burning the entire place down. We could try to sneak weapons in, or simply try to secure a meeting and take him out there where there's only a few guards, and then just try to get out. We could always just decide that we can't do this ourselves, and we may need to just try to look for more evidence of what he's doing and secure more allies.
Is there a reason we have to do this right away? I mean, I understand that people are hurting and that this needs to be taken care of, but with only 2 or 3 people plus Mina and us, I don't know if we can rightly do this on our own. You weren't up there, Stuart. It's very well guarded. I don't even know if trying to burn it would really even quite work. It's huge.
Well, how could we scare him out? What's something that a man like Thorogood would fear enough to leave his safety?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Tessian is like, well, if we knew who was backing him or how, or if we could challenge or put his source of income into question, that might spook him a bit. If we could put something in front of him that seemed, I don't know, tantalizing enough, that might bring him out, but it would have to be awfully tempting to get him out of there, I suspect. I don't know.
Mina kind of
Certainly
chimes in at this point, and she says, the one thing you might be able to play to your advantage is nightfall. The mansion is still guarded in the evenings, and there are still plenty of guards, but it's definitely fewer in number than during the day. If you were going to try to take a direct or indirectly direct approach, using the cover of nightfall to try and gain an advantage before they're aware might be enough to tip the scales. It's still a risky proposition, but you saw how well fortified it was during the day.
I am for that approach. In an ideal situation, we could be patient, wait to see what happens. We don't have the luxury of that time.
Tessian's like, well, I don't know that I agree with that.
Things are moving, my friend, that you may not be aware of.
Is there something you're aware of? I'm just genuinely curious. I just don't know if barging in right now is the right option, Stuart.
I don't think barge in, but I'm with Mina. We go under the cover of nightfall and we figure something out while we can.
Tonight? Like...
Tessian's like, I at the very least think we should hear what he has to say about my offer. If he agrees, there's the possibility that I could have more access to the grounds, at least if we're some sort of business partner.
And
if you burn the entire place down, then that's gone.
I agree burning it down is probably not the best bet. Grail and you brought up we would be burning the wealth of the town. I don't think that does anyone any favors.
Gold doesn't burn.
Yes, it does. Definitely does.
That's okay, Karash. That head looks pretty good. We'll hang that up later when we get home. I don't think we need to go tonight. After all, we need to wait for Mina's men anyways. But I don't think we should take a long time. And if we wait too long, that's more time for Thorogood to see that maybe this plan, maybe you weren't sent by your mother. Or maybe there's something suspicious.
I'm worried about that too. I actually wasn't expecting him to be so agreeable to the plan. I mean, Tessian, are you willing to go forward with this?
And Tessian's like, well, it wasn't my intent when we came here, but it's not a bad deal. It's not something I would be fully against, although I certainly would if he is indeed just spending all of this on himself and not on the town. That's not something that my family would approve of. But that is the sort of thing that I would hopefully be able to explore a bit more if I am indeed something of a business partner of his. But I still don't know that that's true. He is very guarded.
And that would take time. That would take a lot of time to earn his trust in any capacity.
I was hoping to end this day with him dead. If it ends with him getting a sweet deal on ore, I'm going to be very upset.
I know, Stuart. I know this is upsetting. I know you want things to get done right away. It just seems like it doesn't seem possible. I think we're a little bit outnumbered here, outmatched.
This is what happens. He has the city under his thumb. If people could have done something by now, they would have.
And Tessian's like, exactly, Stuart. Yeah. If people could just march in there or sneak in there and kill him in the middle of the night, they would have.
Yeah.
But they can't. You should probably consider not trying to do it yourself.
We can do it through the sewer.
I know, but it's more complicated, I think. Crash.
I'm going to get frustrated, and I'm going to rub it around in my pack for one of the knives Tessian gave me, and I'm going to start skinning this stupid head.
Okay.
Frustration.
Tessian, gosh. Just right here, plops it on her nice table back there, just starts skinning a snake head.
She's a little off-put by it, but she doesn't say anything.
I guess it's not worth talking about right now. We need to wait to hear what he has to say tomorrow. Maybe something will be illuminated then. Until then, I don't know if there's really much to say. We could talk for hours.
My fear is now is the only time. If he sees through our veil, then we could be looking at security getting doubled, maybe even finding the gap in the sewers. And then we have no way even through the wall.
I don't think he's going to see through. He did seem genuinely interested in the deal. It's a good deal for all rights, as far as I can tell. I'm no businesswoman, but I don't think that's going to happen. I could be wrong. I don't know. You're going to have to either trust Tessian or not.
I guess that's the question. We have an opportunity tonight, Tessian. Do you feel good enough about this to wait for another one?
Tessian's like, I think it's worth it for us to wait and be patient. I don't think acting rash here is going to get us what we want.
I don't want to die. I really don't.
Well, I can't do this alone. I guess we're waiting. And I holster my guns and I leave.
Your guns were unholstered. All right, guys, let's talk.
Just spinning them the whole time, just like.
I feel bad. I kind of like turn to Tessian. I feel bad. I know where he's coming from. I do, truly, but I think we need to wait.
And now that Stuart's gone, Tessian will sort of be like, one of the other possibilities we have for potentially drawing him out is trying to use Stuart as a bargaining chip. If there is indeed a bounty on his head, he may be worth a substantial amount as a potential assassin that has been discovered in this city trying to kill Mr. Thorogood. All of which is true.
Oh, I start shaking my head.
I'm going to start growling.
I don't know if I like that, Tessian. I mean, that it feels like an overstep. I don't want to put him in any imminent danger.
Tessian's like, that's why I haven't suggested it yet. I think it's a little much, but it could be a good ace in the hole if we need some sort of bargaining chip to get ourselves out of it.
Perhaps. I didn't see any reason for him to want to go back on the deal. Did you? Did you feel any sense of disingenuity? I don't know.
Justin's like, no, I think he's a cautious man, and I think he's going to spend the evening contemplating whether or not this will benefit him, whether or not the attachment to the connection with my city will open him up to any risks. The problem is that we don't know what sort of business deals he's onto or who he is answering to. It's possible that this decision is above his head and he actually has to ask whoever's in charge.
I just wonder why now. Like, all of his guards were so confused. The look on their faces, they did not expect us to be coming back. I mean, the other guard was just kind of scoffing at the idea of us even entering. And so why us? Why now? Like, is it just your namesake? I'm curious. It almost feels like he doesn't have as much power as everyone else believes.
It seems like it could also just be a trap. I'll be honest. This could be an attempt to know exactly where we are at a given time. Although I think if that was the case, he would have been better springing it while we were all there and seeming unarmed.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he's done that in the past. People haven't returned, and that's what happens. I'm just worried that Stuart's right, and he's just waiting for something. I don't know what. But then our chance is completely over and missed.
Tesson's like, or we learn something about this. If he turns it down and it seems like he did not want to, then we have an idea that perhaps he's working for somebody else, which tells us something more than what we know now. We just still don't know. We don't know a lot about the situation here. We know he's taking this, but we don't know why other than his own extravagance. And for a man that surrounds himself with it, he doesn't seem keen on using it. I don't know. It just seems awfully odd to me.
It seems odd to me, too. I feel bad. I think I'm going to go try and find Stuart and talk to him. I don't know. I just feel like he left on a note that I don't feel comfortable with, and I just want to talk to him a little bit. I'm going to take my leave if that's all right.
Tessie nods.
I have a question that I should ask now. If I wasn't leaving, so I closed the door, and if I wasn't in a hurry to leave, would I have heard anything about that plan?
Did you have a reason to stand by the door? Were you trying to listen in?
I was not trying to listen in, but I was kind of curious as to what the mood would be if I was not there. I didn't have my ear up to the door, though. I just kind of, I didn't run away.
Yeah, I mean, the door is stoutly constructed to the point where it's meant not to have a lot of noise leak out. It's part of why the room is used for that purpose. So I'm going to say, unless you had to actively making an attempt, no.
Okay.
All right. So Grail goes to leave. I don't know if Stuart's outside or where he went, but
I'm gonna check your room.
I would assume if I didn't hear enough to then pique my interest, I would have just gone back to my room.
Okay. So you head over to Stuart's room. Everybody else is in the makeshift meeting room.
Oh, yeah. As soon as she leaves, I'm just going to say, Stuart's a friend. Leave him alone. And I'm going to do it in a very unpleasant, intimidating way.
Ooh.
So cute.
Wow, you guys are friends now. Aww.
Tessian
I'm
kind of takes
definitely
it in stride.
intimidated by that comment.
What did Tessian say, Jason?
Tessian just kind of takes it in stride. He'll just kind of nod and he doesn't say anything though. He knows he's not crazy for thinking it, at least in his mind. So
Mina kind of senses the room is a little off kilter at the moment, and she says, "I don't know what to tell you as far as what the best course of action is. I just know whatever you decide to do, do it carefully, and remember that nothing is always an option. I know that sounds terrible to say, but you don't owe the city anything. So please just measure whatever you're doing against the potential good, which could be fantastic for the city, against the potential risk.
And Tessia nods, and he's like, I think I understand a bit more than the others just how much can be lost over how little can be gained. I will do everything in my power to help make sure that you and the other people of Falstock are protected from any of this. But I can't make the same guarantee for my companions. But thank you for all of this and everything that you've done so far. That when all of this is said and done, most of this will be because of your efforts.
Well, I don't know that I've done a whole lot to this point, but I've helped how I can. I'm going to go tend the room again, but if you need anything else from me, or if you guys decide on an action and need me to get in contact with my people, just come let me know.
And Tessian's like, we will.
And she goes to leave the room as well.
The sooner we do nothing, the sooner we can go find out what there is to know about the Dragonborn and Zrydev.
And Tessian agrees. He's like, I considered it. The longer we wait, the longer your people scatter to the winds. The situation here may not change anytime soon and may just get worse. And your people may be hanging in the balance.
I'm gonna get in frustration, stab the head.
Yeah, at this point,
Deeply upset.
The fangs have been removed, so at this point it's just kind of a toothless snakehead, and it does not put up much of a fight.
Can I start working on trying to pull the whole poison sac out too?
You can certainly start.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time for something that intricate, but yes.
Plus, I'm super manually dexterous.
Yes, it's definitely your strongest point. All right, Grail, you head down to Stuart's room.
Yes, I do. I'm going to kind of stand outside of his room for a few seconds and then kind of just knock with the back of my hand a couple times.
I wait a second, and then I will answer.
I wait a second and then shoot
Grail.
through the door.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was an enemy. No. So I open the door, and I say, "So did the bureaucrat come up with any great ideas? What's his best plan?"
We don't really have a plan. And honestly, I feel like we're all kind of in over our head with this, but he's very keen on waiting right now. And I know you don't want that. I want to know a little bit better where you're coming from, like why you feel so strongly that we have to do this right now.
There's just a bigger game at stake. It's really all I can say right now.
I wish you could tell me more. I wish you could. I just don't know where you're coming from.
Thorogood may seem like he's the goal, and I understand that right now, but he's merely a piece, a pawn, a stepping stone to where we need to get.
But then why must we act? Why don't we just move on?
Because until we topple this piece of a man who is playing a very elaborate game, we can get no closer into unraveling all of the corruption.
And Grail just sighs, and just like, I don't disagree with you. I believe in your mission and what you want to do very much. I just, maybe some tact, and in using Tessian to our advantage would be worthwhile.
What he says makes sense, and that's what's so frustrating.
I know.
We just can't wait forever.
I know.
And he doesn't trust me.
That's true. I can tell you that right now. But I don't think he means it in any, like, entirely personal way. I mean, Stuart, you've been... Stuart. And I kind of laugh. He has reason not to, though. I mean, you're as honest to him as you are with everyone else, except for me, and it's not very. And I understand why, and I know your reasons are valid, but you got to give him the benefit of the doubt, like that. He's feeling that way for a reason, you know.
I suppose. I know you're right. It's just, Tessian's of the old guard. He wants to do things the way that they've always been done. And it's smart, and it's safe, and it ultimately will change nothing. In order to change this country, and I've seen it firsthand, we have to become more than the old guard. We have to bring in something new.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Do you think there's any reason why we shouldn't just give it one more night? I mean, I was there. You weren't there with me, and I'm not. And I really came over here to not quite apologize, but just to let you know that I'm on your side. That I'm not trying to take anyone's side over another. But I was in that room with Tessian, and I mean, I didn't get any good feelings about this Whitwer fellow, not at all. But I feel like there may be something there. I don't think we're going to be missing out if we choose to wait one night. And I wanted to let you know that. I'm not just trying to play into someone's hand. That's how I feel. And I don't want you to be feeling bad about this either.
We can wait. And I appreciate you letting me know. But
Of
we
course.
can wait not because of the bureaucrat's plan or the ways that he's spinning this to make him richer. We can wait because I know deep down any plan that we take tonight is going to put all of us in danger, him included. And your safety is more important to me than that.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And honestly, I just don't want you going guns blaring and blazing into that mansion. You're just one person, and I know one person can make all the difference, but I think we should do that. We should make a move together. I think we would have a lot more good luck.
All right, and I have some thinking to do too.
Okay.
You made a good point. None of you do trust me, and none of you really can, because I have not been upfront with you.
I trust you. I mean, I know there are things you can't tell us or tell me, even me, as much as I do know, but I trust you. I do. I hope you know that.
Well, then that almost makes me want to say this even more, is I need to take a hard look at maybe it's time to let you know what I know and to bring you in on my information a little bit more. But I need to think if that's the best move right now.
I understand. I'm obviously willing to hear whatever it is you have to say when and if you are ready. But I'm not going to push. It's not my place.
All right. Well, thanks, Grail. Let's get some sleep. We have a big day tomorrow.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. And I'm going to just leave.
Okay. Anything else you guys would like to do with the free afternoon, or just kind of take it easy and wait for news tomorrow?
Tessian's going to, I mean, while he's still kind of in there with Lena, I think Karash is still in there, but he's just going to turn to Lena and just be like, you know, what are your thoughts on all this?
And she kind of sighs and shakes her head, and you know, I don't really know. There's a lot going on, and it's hard to know what the right choice is. I don't know.
Tessian's like, well, oftentimes you can't always know what the right choice is, but you still have to make a choice. And that's the tricky part of it. But, well, I hope we can settle this in a way that doesn't get anybody hurt. As important as it is to remove this man from power, the people underneath him are the real important part of this. They're the ones that actually matter. They're the ones that need to be kept safe. It's better to be alive under a corrupt man than dead and free, despite
Agreed.
what Stuart may claim.
Right.
He's just like, but if this ever seems to be too much for you, Lena, if we ever cross that boundary where you feel that this just isn't a course of action we should take, that you're not safe, that we've gone too far, just make sure you say something, and we'll leave. It's no problem at all. At the end of the day, you're the more important mission here for me, not all this. So just keep that in mind.
God, we're all so cute.
I nod slowly, and thank you for your assistance again during all this chaos and whatnot.
And Tessian's like, just keep in mind, your opinion, I know you're new and everything, but your opinion matters here. What you have to say, well, can direct our course of action just as much as anybody else's. Some of the others might be a bit more passionate, but, well, you were born to lead just the same, and you deserve to have that opinion.
Do you think I have to cook this first before I eat it?
And Tessian's like, I think I've heard that snake brain, it's not very big, but yes, cooked can be rather good.
The brain too?
And Tessian's like, well, I think the skin's a little rough around the edges, but I've only had it once, maybe? Or was that eel? You know, I can't recall.
Lena's kind of
I'm
grossed
skinning
out
it
by
anyways.
this conversation. It's kind of like, or you could not eat it?
Yeah, I'm sure Lena's feeling real good about this beheaded snake in her midst.
Yep. Happy times.
Are elves vegetarians? I don't really.
Not all. So,
Lena's kinder.
with an uncertain evening, you guys eventually what?
So everybody's gonna go to their rooms,
Okay.
right? I'm waiting for you. I don't want to say it. I want you to say it.
Well, I was about to.
Okay, you keep going. I know what's happening, but I want to. There's a reason.
Okay. Am I just going to set up to get interrupted again? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, but at the right moment.
Okay. So
I was going to take the snakeskin to Gothak and then offer the poison sack to Grail once I get it out and keep the teethies for myself and see if I couldn't get Mina to cook the rest of it for me.
Okay, I was like, yeah, give me like a Reader's Digest version of the rest of the day real quick before nightfall. So that's Karash.
Yep.
I'm staying.
I figured Gothak can use snakeskin.
Gothak loves the snakehead. Mina is less than thrilled about having to cook it, but she moves out of the way in the kitchen so that you have the space to do so. But she's not especially excited about the prospect of cooking up this snakehead. But she does give you the means to do so.
All right, and Grail, I'm gonna find you and offer you up this poison sack as though it was some sort of prize.
Wow. I imagine you like bringing it to my room and just like handing it to me and be like,
It's poison, like the dagger.
like the dagger. No, thank you, Crash.
You're welcome. Just leave.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna just kind of hold it and be like, I don't know what to do with this. But I'm happy that Karash thought of me. That's very sweet. I'm probably going to spend most of my time penning a letter to my parents, even though I have poor penmanship and I don't read very well. I'm going to do my best. So that's what I'm going to end up doing.
Okay.
Are the fangs big enough to make daggers out of?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, if nothing else, I'm going to try and find like some bone or a good hard wooden stake to put as a handle onto the dagger or the snake fang daggers.
Yeah, I mean, they'd be kind of makeshift, but they would probably work in a pinch.
Cool.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think Tessian's going to actually try to walk the city a little bit. I mean, he is ostensibly here to tour the city, so he's going to kind of do that. See the different businesses, the different shops. The people avoid him, he assumes, or are going to, but he's still going to try to kind of get a lay of the land. Just kind of how it's set up, any other businesses, or he's just going to play the part of tourist, essentially, is what he's going to do.
Okay.
So,
Lena Stewart.
I don't think I actually got to write down my vision last time. I had a vision, y'all. I don't know if that made it into the recordings or not. I don't remember. Oh, it did? Never mind. Okay, but I need to write it down and then probably...
I think you were going to write a letter at some point.
I think I was going to write a letter, too, and I didn't do that either. So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
I'm going to write a letter to my grandma about the vision and then include the details of the vision and then keep piece of parchment with the information for myself just so I don't forget anything.
Okay.
All right. So I come up behind Tessian. He's outside.
Piano wire.
None of this is good.
And I say, Tessian, I think we need to get the group together. I think we all need to have a talk.
Where is this? Like, where are we doing this? Like, where are you jumping me at?
You said you were walking outside, so I'm just gonna wait until it's
Oh.
kind of dark. Come from behind you and say, I think we need to talk.
Jesus Christ.
God, you're trying to Batman me. And Tessian's like, I'm sorry. Wait, about what, Stuart? Wouldn't we going to wait till tomorrow, or has something happened?
I think there's some things I need to tell you all.
And Tessian's like, well, sure, I suppose. We can get everyone together if you feel it's necessary.
I think you'll
And-
want to hear what I have to say.
Tessian's like, well, I'm all ears. Let's get everyone together then.
All right. Let's return and we'll have this talk.
So I guess Tessian will go upstairs and...
That's actually where I just
girl-
want to leave it, though. That's actually perfect. To be continued.
Ruined my own planned ending. Alrighty, well, as we head into the evening time, apparently the group is going to be gathered for a talk before they go to bed and wait for tomorrow's news from Count Whitworth Thorogood on what he plans to do with this proposed deal and what the next steps will be afterwards. But all that may have to wait for Stuart's talk first, but that'll be happening next time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Anachroschism.